Welcome back to my channel. A trap had already been set, ensnaring Samantha in a web from which there was no escape. Despite her valiant efforts to resist, the unthinkable fate awaited her. In a horrific turn of events, Samantha was brutally stabbed more than 120 times, her blood staining the interior of the car. In today's fast-paced urban life, it has become second nature for us to reach for our phones and summon a ride, rarely pausing to consider the lurking dangers. Yet on that fateful day, a college student ordered a ride just like any other. The moment she opened the door and climbed into the car, a chilling reality set in. She would not make it home. In 2019 in Columbia, the heart of South Carolina and its largest city, a heinous crime was about to unfold. The University of South Carolina, a prestigious institution, stands proudly in this vibrant city. It was here that the tragic story of Samantha Josephson unfolded, forever altering the lives of those who knew her. Samantha Josephson, a senior student poised to graduate, brimmed with dreams and aspirations for her future. Born on August 13, 1997, she envisioned pursuing a master's degree, eager to embark on her journey into the world beyond academia. Raised in a middle-class family in Princeton, New Jersey, Samantha was nurtured by two highly educated parents who met in college. She also had an older sister, 2 years her senior, creating a tightly knit family bond that would shape her upbringing. The Josephson family thrived in a harmonious environment where laughter filled their home. Samantha, known affectionately as Sammy, was the spirited heart of the family. With a penchant for playful pranks, her joyful nature made her a favorite among friends and family alike. Academically, she excelled, consistently earning the admiration of her teachers as an honor student. After graduating from Robbinsville High School, Samantha's academic prowess earned her a place at the University of South Carolina, where she majored in political science. Her journey was just beginning, and she was eager to make her mark. Throughout her college years, Samantha was a vibrant force. Balancing her studies with a plethora of extracurricular activities, she joined the Alpha Gamma Delta sorority, an organization dedicated to fostering leadership, academic excellence, and social responsibility among women. Her adventurous spirit took her to Barcelona for a week-long exchange program, where she traveled to various countries, witnessing the harsh realities of social injustice. These experiences ignited a passion within her, solidifying her desire to advocate for others. Inspired by her idol, Amal Clooney, the distinguished British international human rights lawyer, Samantha aspired to follow in her footsteps. Recognized not only for her beauty, but also for her formidable contributions to the legal field, Amal became a beacon of hope for Samantha. In her sophomore year, fate intervened when Samantha crossed paths with Greg, a junior at the time, at a local bar. Their connection was instantaneous, and after several dates, they officially became a couple. As Greg graduated in 2018, their relationship blossomed, filled with promise and shared dreams. In a twist of fate, Samantha Josephson crossed paths with Greg, a junior, at a lively local bar. Sparks flew between them instantly, and after a series of enchanting dates, they declared themselves a couple. Greg, a year ahead of Samantha, graduated in 2018, setting his own course for the future. Rather than continuing his education, Greg made the decision to dive straight into the workforce and return to his hometown of Mount Pleasant, roughly a 2-hour drive from Columbia. Despite the miles that lay between them, the bond they shared remained resilient. They engaged in frequent video calls, maintaining daily contact that kept their connection alive. Greg often made the trip down on weekends to spend time with Samantha. Through it all, Samantha remained steadfast in her aspirations. She yearned to become a lawyer, fiercely committed to advocating for those who needed it most. Time flew by, and as 2019 approached, Samantha was on the brink of graduation from the University of South Carolina, her dedication finally beginning to bear fruit. In a moment of sheer excitement, Samantha called her father to share the life-changing news. She had been accepted into Rutgers Law School, even receiving a partial scholarship. Her father's heart swelled with pride. Rutgers, a name synonymous with prestige and history, was a significant milestone. Yet the joy didn't end there. Less than 10 minutes later, Samantha dialed her father again, this time with even more thrilling news. Drexel University's law school had also extended an acceptance, offering her a full scholarship. After much deliberation, Samantha decided on Drexel University Law School, recognizing the immense opportunity that a full scholarship presented. one that would alleviate her family's financial pressures. Greg, ever the supportive boyfriend, rallied behind her decision and began crafting plans to secure a job in Philadelphia, where Drexel is situated, ensuring they could remain close together. At this juncture, Samantha was soaring in both her academic pursuits and personal life. With no unforeseen circumstances on the horizon, her journey towards becoming an outstanding lawyer appeared to be set in stone. Yet, the ominous shadow of tragedy loomed just around the corner. On the fateful night of March 28, 2019, just 2 months shy of her graduation, Samantha joined a group of classmates for a night out in the bustling nightlife district known as 5 Points, a mere mile from the University of South Carolina campus. This vibrant area, teeming with bars and entertainment venues, was a favored haunt among college students. Around 2:00 a.m., they settled into a bar called Bird Dog. As the night wore on, Samantha began to feel fatigued and made the decision to leave alone. Tragically, after she stepped outside, she vanished without a trace. Her phone remained silent. Calls went unanswered, messages unreplied. By the morning of March 29th, worry consumed her roommate and Greg, who scoured every possible location in search of her, yet she remained elusive. As the clock ticked towards 1:30 p.m., Samantha's roommate could no longer delay and made the harrowing choice to report her disappearance to the police. As the hours passed, Samantha Josephson's roommate and boyfriend became increasingly anxious. They searched every familiar place, but Samantha was nowhere to be found. By 1:30 p.m., the sense of urgency reached a breaking point. In a desperate move, her roommate reported Samantha's disappearance to the police. Although less than 24 hours had passed since Samantha was last seen, law enforcement acted with urgency. Officers promptly arrived at her apartment to question her roommates and gather details about her appearance on the night she vanished. They swiftly circulated her photo to the public, hoping to gather leads. In the heart of downtown, where the streets buzzed with life, investigators cast their net wide, hoping that someone might have witnessed the events leading to the disappearance of Samantha Josephson. The incident, which unfolded in 2019, occurred in an area teeming with pedestrians, making it all the more likely that someone had seen her that night. As the clock struck 4 p.m., a crucial lead emerged from the New Zion area of Clarendon County, located southeast of Columbia, roughly 62 miles from the bar where Samantha had last been seen. The urgency of the search intensified as authorities raced to uncover the truth. In a grim discovery, 2 hunters stumbled upon the lifeless body of a young woman on the roadside. When authorities arrived, the chilling confirmation was made. This was Samantha, the vibrant student whose absence had left a gaping hole in the hearts of those who loved her. The autopsy revealed a scene of horror. Samantha's body bore multiple injuries, marked by sharp force trauma that was neither large nor deep. The wounds were concentrated on her head, neck, arms, and back, with an initial count estimating at least 120 stab wounds, each one a testament to the brutality of the attack. The medical examiner, grappling with the sheer volume of injuries, noted that determining the exact number was nearly impossible, a chilling reflection of the extreme violence inflicted upon her. What left forensic experts baffled was the nature of the weapon used. The wounds hinted at an unusual blade, not a standard knife, but a weapon with 2 parallel blades, creating an eerily symmetrical pattern. The inability to identify the specific type of weapon only added to the horror of the situation. One particularly haunting detail stood out amidst the chaos. Samantha's body was nearly devoid of blood. Given her weight, she should have had approximately 4 liters, around 1 gallon, of blood, yet only a mere 20 milliliters, about 0.7 ounces, were recovered from her. This stark reality painted a grim picture. Samantha had bled out almost entirely, leaving behind an unimaginable scene. The medical examiner concluded that the cause of death was exsanguination, massive blood loss. It was estimated that this agonizing process took between 10 to 20 minutes, during which Samantha likely experienced unspeakable pain and despair. The thought of her suffering sent chills down the spines of all who learned of the tragedy. Her parents and boyfriend were thrust into a world of sorrow, utterly devastated by the brutal loss of their beloved Samantha. Upon receiving the heartbreaking news, they found it nearly impossible to grasp how such a vibrant young woman could be taken from them so suddenly and violently. It was a harsh reality they were forced to confront. In an emotional moment, her father took to social media to express his grief. With a heavy heart, he shared, It is with tremendous sadness and a broken heart that I post this. I will miss and love my baby girl for the rest of my life. Samantha is no longer with us, but she will. With immense grief and a shattered heart, Greg shared his pain in a poignant post. I will miss and love my baby girl for the rest of my life, he wrote. Although Samantha was no longer with them, he vowed she would never be forgotten. Sharing his thoughts was an agonizing task. In a heart-wrenching statement, Greg revealed the depth of his sorrow, expressing, "I love her with all my heart." As he penned his feelings, tears streamed down his face while staring at Samantha Josephson's picture. The tragedy had left the University of South Carolina reeling, mourning the loss of a vibrant student. The entire campus descended into a chilling state of fear and shock. Samantha Josephson's actions before her tragic death were routine for most college students, nights spent at bars with light coursework and an Uber ride home. Suddenly, everyday activities took on a sinister hue. The realization that what had happened to Samantha could have easily befallen any student sent a wave of dread through the student body. Hesitation gripped many, causing them to rethink their plans to visit bars or book rides. Terrified by the possibility of becoming the next victim, the police faced immense pressure. If the perpetrator remained at large, every university student was at risk. In response, a significant police force was mobilized to ensure the safety of the campus. To launch a thorough investigation, the police resolved to start from the beginning, focusing on the last known whereabouts of Samantha Josephson. Her friends, who had shared drinks with her on the night of March 28th, provided their accounts. They recounted their time at the bar, noting that while Samantha wasn't in the best mood, she appeared generally fine. Around 2:00 a.m. on March 29th, she expressed her desire to go home and catch up on sleep, leaving before the rest of her group. Samantha's boyfriend, Greg, also shared his perspective with the police. Throughout the evening, he had been texting Samantha. He explained that she was feeling down due to her parents' illness. Their conversation continued until about 2:04 a.m., when she informed him that she had booked an Uber and that the car was on its way. After that, silence fell over their messages. With location sharings enabled, Greg checked her whereabouts and noticed something alarming. The route taken by the Uber diverged from her usual path home. Instead of heading north, the vehicle was moving southeast. A sense of unease washed over him. Though he was not in Columbia at the time, he bombarded her with calls and texts, but received no reply. Then, in a startling twist, her location sharing abruptly stopped. This had never occurred before. Before contacting the police, Greg had rushed to Samantha's roommates, searching for her. Together, they scrutinized security camera footage from that night. The footage revealed Samantha getting into a car, but the circumstances were questionable. Alarmed by the inconsistencies, Greg decided to report her disappearance to the authorities. Based on these statements, the police uncovered a crucial detail. Samantha had gone missing shortly after calling for an Uber around 2:00 a.m., making the Uber vehicle a prime suspect in her disappearance. Investigators swiftly contacted Uber and traced the driver who had accepted Samantha's ride request, a man named Marcus. When questioned by authorities, Marcus asserted, "Yes, I accepted the ride, but I never picked up Samantha that night. After waiting for a while without her showing up, I canceled the ride." When questioned, Marcus recounted the events of that fateful night. He confirmed he accepted the ride request, but clarified, "I never picked up Samantha that night. After waiting for some time with no one appearing, I canceled the ride." As the investigation deepened, a chilling possibility emerged. Could it be that Samantha Josephson had mistakenly entered the wrong car? Following this lead, the police scrutinized street surveillance footage. At approximately 2:00 a.m. on March 29th, Samantha was captured standing alone on a street corner, anxiously waiting for her ride. Dressed in a striking red-orange top and jeans, she clutched her phone tightly. Despite the late hour, the street pulsed with life, teeming with young people gathered around. Yet no one seemed to be following or approaching Samantha. Standing at the designated pickup point, everything appeared normal. Then, at 2:11 a.m., a silver-gray car briefly halted near her. Eagerly, she stepped forward, convinced this was her ride. But as swiftly as it had stopped, the car drove away. It was clearly not her Uber. Dejected, she returned to her spot, continuing to wait. About 30 seconds later, at 2:12 a.m., a black Chevrolet pulled up, drawing Samantha closer once more. Without hesitation, she entered the vehicle, and just like that, the car vanished into the night. However, further examination of surrounding surveillance footage revealed a harrowing pattern. The black Chevrolet had been circling the area repeatedly, each time stopping near different corners where patrons spilled out of the bars. It became evident that the vehicle was hunting for a victim, deliberately targeting individuals leaving the bars. The driver had clearly spotted Samantha earlier when she had unwittingly approached the wrong vehicle while alone. This was no random act of violence. It was a premeditated, calculated crime. In response, police widened their surveillance efforts to track down the elusive black Chevrolet, yet tragically, the cameras failed to capture either the license plate or a clear image of the driver. At this juncture, the investigation had reached a somewhat vague conclusion. The suspect was driving a black Chevrolet that had been frequently spotted around the Five Points area. Beyond this scant information, leads remained frustratingly limited. Determined to make progress, the police escalated their patrols, deploying a significant force to keep a watchful eye on the area, specifically monitoring any black Chevrolet vehicles entering or leaving Five Points. Under ordinary circumstances, such a substantial police presence might have driven a suspect into hiding. However, shockingly, within less than 24 hours, the police were able to apprehend the suspect, not due to exceptional investigative prowess, but because the suspect displayed an astonishing level of recklessness, showing utter disregard for law enforcement. In the early hours of March 30th, while patrolling the Five Points area, officers unexpectedly spotted the black Chevrolet. Recognizing it from the surveillance footage, they pulled the vehicle over without hesitation. Upon stopping the car, they commanded the man inside, clad in a white hoodie, to step out. Yet, taking advantage of a momentary distraction, the suspect made a desperate attempt to flee on foot. Inside the vehicle, officers discovered a female passenger who appeared bewildered and entirely unaware of the unfolding chaos. Meanwhile, officers pursued the fleeing man, swiftly apprehending him moments after his desperate escape attempt. Before any probing questions could arouse further suspicion, the man remained tight-lipped, claiming only that he was struggling to breathe and needed medical assistance. Paramedics were summoned to the scene, but after a brief examination they confirmed that he was in good health with no medical issues. To establish his identity, the police photographed and fingerprinted him. Running the prints through their system revealed his identity as Nathaniel Rowland, a 24-year-old man with a troubling past. Concurrently, another team of officers initiated a preliminary search of the vehicle Rowland had been driving. Inside, they discovered a small quantity of marijuana, a rose gold iPhone, and alarming bloodstains on the back seat. Among the findings were cleaning supplies, including bleach, suggesting the vehicle had been the scene of a horrific crime. Forensic specialists were immediately dispatched to the scene to gather evidence from the car. They meticulously collected blood samples, as well as scrapings from beneath Rowland's fingernails and from his clothing, determined to uncover the truth. Realizing the blood in his vehicle was a glaring indicator of something sinister, Nathaniel Rowland fabricated a story. He recounted a tale of attending a family party on March 28th, claiming he drank too much and spent the night at a hotel. The following morning, he alleged, he found blood smeared throughout his car's interior. He insisted that he had purchased cleaning products to scrub away the evidence, asserting that someone had borrowed his car without his knowledge, leaving him perplexed about the blood's origin. Despite his serious demeanor, when officers pressed him for the name of the person who borrowed his car and details about those present at the party, he refused to provide answers, insisting it was a private matter. His clumsy lie fell flat, and police were skeptical. Diligently continuing their investigation, officers gathered additional evidence and secured a warrant for a more thorough search of Rowland's vehicle. As anticipated, this deeper dive uncovered even more critical clues. Notably, the child safety locks on the rear doors had been engaged, indicating that a passenger in the back seat would have been trapped, unable to escape. A shoe print on the rear passenger window suggested that someone had attempted to kick the window open in a desperate bid for freedom but had failed. Furthermore, inside the vehicle, police stumbled upon a shopping list and an eviction notice. The shopping list contained alarming items such as duct tape, gloves, gasoline, and a cell phone, hinting at a calculated intent to destroy evidence. The eviction notice had been filed by a woman named Maria on March 26th. Investigators would later confirm that Maria was Rowland's girlfriend at the time. Despite Rowland's efforts to clean the interior, a luminol test illuminated extensive bloodstains, covering nearly the entire back seat. One investigator, boasting 25 years of experience, remarked that he had never encountered such a substantial amount of blood at a crime scene, especially considering that Samantha Josephson had been nearly drained of all her blood, a chilling testament to the brutality that had unfolded. Inside Nathaniel Rowland's vehicle, investigators unearthed a disturbing shopping list alongside an eviction notice. The list included items such as duct tape, gloves, gasoline, and a cell phone, ominous tools that hinted at a sinister intent to erase evidence of a horrific crime. The eviction notice had been filed by Maria on March 26th, and further inquiry revealed her to be Nathaniel Rowland's girlfriend. Despite Rowland's desperate attempts to cleanse the vehicle's interior, a luminol test revealed a shocking scene. Extensive blood stains marred almost the entire back seat. One seasoned investigator, with 25 years in the field, noted with disbelief that he had never encountered such a significant amount of blood at a crime scene. The sheer volume indicated that Samantha had been nearly drained of her life. The grim findings were consistent with the cause of death. Subsequent DNA tests confirmed the blood belonged to Samantha, while a shoe print found on the rear window matched her footwear. Among the items discovered in the car was a rose gold iPhone, unmistakably identified as hers. Additionally, the investigation took a crucial turn when blood residue under Nathaniel Rowland's fingernails was identified as a DNA match for Samantha Josephson. The location where Samantha's body was discovered was a mere 1.8 miles from Rowland's residence, an area he was notably familiar with. This proximity suggested a chilling possibility. He had deliberately chosen this spot to dispose of her body. In light of this overwhelming circumstantial evidence, the prosecution moved to charge Rowland with first-degree murder and kidnapping. Samantha's family passionately argued that Rowland's brutal actions posed a significant threat to society, urging the court to deny him bail. The judge concurred with their concerns, and Rowland was denied bail. Born in South Carolina in 1994, little is known about Rowland's childhood, aside from reports indicating he was a troublesome child. In high school, he was the captain of the basketball team, well liked by his coach. However, after graduation, his life took a dark turn. He frequently roamed the Five Points area, often targeting unfamiliar women under the guise of offering them rides, seeking conversation. Without stable employment, he spent his days loitering and engaging in disruptive behavior. In October 2018, 2 men kidnapped a woman in the Columbia area, stealing valuables from her home. Just hours after the incident, police apprehended Rowland attempting to sell the stolen items, strongly indicating his involvement in the crime. That case remained under investigation when Samantha was murdered, revealing Rowland's pattern as a repeat offender. Despite the overwhelming evidence against him, Rowland steadfastly denied all charges, insisting he was innocent and had been wrongfully arrested. With no confession from Rowland, the prosecution faced the daunting task of compiling a comprehensive chain of circumstantial evidence. On July 20, 2021, the trial against Rowland officially commenced. The prosecution summoned a total of 31 witnesses, with pivotal testimony coming from Rowland's 24-year-old girlfriend, Maria. When police initially approached her, Maria promised to reveal everything she knew, setting the stage for a crucial revelation. Maria testified, revealing the nature of her relationship with Rowland. She stated, "Rowland is my boyfriend. We've known each other for a long time, but only recently started dating seriously. He owns a black Chevrolet and often hangs around the Five Points area. On the night of March 28th, he didn't come home. I texted him, but he didn't respond. It wasn't until after 7 a.m. on March 29th that I finally saw his car parked nearby. Since I was in a hurry to get to work, I didn't have time to get upset and just asked him to drive me there. While en route, I noticed a series of bloodstains on the back seat. When I asked him what had happened, he brushed it off, insisting it was none of my business. There was also a rose gold iPhone in the car, further complicating the grim narrative surrounding that night. In a chilling revelation, Maria recounted a disturbing encounter. A man's vague claim of finding a woman's phone raised her suspicions. He promised to return it after wiping it clean, but she felt uneasy. Later that evening, after returning home from work, Maria's unease deepened. She noticed bloodstains on the clothes he had changed out of after showering. The sheer volume of cleaning supplies and bleach he used to scrub the car sent alarm bells ringing in her mind. Driven by instinct, she confronted him, but her concerns were dismissed once more. Yet, when she saw the news about Samantha's murder, dread consumed her. She recalled seeing a two-bladed knife, ominously covered in blood, inside the vehicle. Fear gripped Maria, leaving her too scared to approach the police, her mind racing with the implications of what she had witnessed. But when the police finally arrived at her doorstep, a wave of relief washed over her. She could finally share the truth. Following her testimony, the police searched the trash bin near her residence. What they found confirmed her worst fears. They uncovered a double-bladed knife, its unique design matching the pattern of Samantha's wounds. Blood stains on the blade were later confirmed to belong to Samantha, identifying it as the murder weapon. The trash also revealed a trove of evidence against Nathaniel Rowland. Pieces of his blood-stained clothing, along with blood-soaked bedsheets, towels, and gloves, were recovered. Subsequent forensic testing confirmed that all blood traces matched Rowland's DNA. This physical evidence became the cornerstone of the case against Rowland. Yet the police were not finished. They dug deeper by tracking cell phone signals, uncovering a trail that would seal Rowland's fate. Investigators discovered that both Rowland's and Samantha's phones had left Columbia together in the early hours of March 29th. The devices traveled along Highway 378, ultimately reaching the remote New Zion area. It was here, at 5 a.m. on March 29th, that Samantha's lifeless body was discovered. In a sinister twist, someone had attempted to withdraw cash using her Wells Fargo card 9 times. Surveillance footage captured a man, his face mostly concealed, repeatedly trying to access the account, failing after multiple incorrect password attempts before fleeing the scene. A witness corroborated this unsettling incident. The timeline indicated that Samantha had already been murdered by that point. Although the footage did not clearly show the man's face, his build and height closely matched Rowland's description. Later that morning, around 11:00 a.m. on March 29th, Rowland was spotted at a second-hand store, attempting to sell Samantha's rose gold iPhone. By this stage, the evidence against Rowland was overwhelming. However, the trial would not proceed as seamlessly as anticipated. Rowland's defense attorney argued that the absence of his DNA under Samantha's fingernails could cast doubt on the prosecution's case. At this juncture, the evidence overwhelmingly implicated Rowland as the murderer. Yet, the trial faced unexpected hurdles. Rowland's defense attorney argued that the absence of Rowland's DNA under Samantha's fingernails suggested he could not be the killer. The defense contended that Samantha would have undoubtedly fought back during the attack, leaving traces of the real assailant's DNA beneath her nails. The defense maintained that the absence of DNA evidence under Samantha's nails proved Rowland's innocence. Yet, the prosecution was ready with a robust rebuttal. They emphasized that. However, the prosecution countered, suggesting that if the assault had been particularly swift and violent, Samantha might not have had the opportunity to defend herself adequately. Alternatively, if she had tried to resist, she may have only managed to scratch Rowland's clothing, leaving no biological evidence behind. Forensic examinations revealed something unsettling. All 10 of Samantha's fingernails had been meticulously trimmed within the previous day or two. The prosecution argued that this was likely. In a desperate bid to erase the traces of his crime, Nathaniel Rowland attempted to eliminate potential evidence after the murder. As the prosecution's case gained strength, the defense pivoted, calling forth several witnesses to testify on Rowland's behalf. Among them, his cousin recounted that on the fateful night of March 28th, Nathaniel Rowland had been heavily intoxicated and passed out, rendering him incapable of leaving the house to commit such a heinous act. His father took the stand, revealing that on the morning of March 29th, Rowland discovered his car keys were missing, only to later find them discarded in a parking lot. When he opened his vehicle, he allegedly discovered blood inside, leading him to believe that someone else had borrowed the car to carry out the crime. Rowland's family, inclusive of his parents, siblings, and former high school basketball coach, rallied together, adamantly asserting his innocence. Each person painted a picture of Rowland as a good individual, arguing that despite his troubled past, he was incapable of such brutality. Yet, despite the defense's earnest attempts to instill doubt, their arguments paled in comparison to the mountain of evidence laid bare by the prosecution. On July 27, 2021, after merely an hour of deliberation, the jury emerged with a unanimous verdict. Nathaniel Rowland was found guilty of murder and kidnapping. In a heart-wrenching moment, Rowland's mother implored the judge, claiming her son was a loving, compassionate individual incapable of such a crime. However, the judge firmly dismissed these emotional appeals. He characterized Rowland's crimes as brutal and heinous, ranking them among the most horrific he had ever witnessed in his courtroom. The judge underscored that such cruelty warranted the maximum punishment, devoid of any leniency. Consequently, Rowland was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Notably, throughout the trial, and even as the judge delivered the sentence, Rowland remained eerily calm, betraying no emotion. His chilling lack of remorse sent shivers through everyone present, a stark reminder of the darkness that lay within. Though justice had been served, Samantha Josephson's tragic death left an irreplaceable void in the hearts of her family. Her parents often found themselves in tears, haunted by the countless wounds inflicted on their beloved daughter, feeling as though their hearts were being torn asunder. During Samantha's funeral, hundreds, even thousands of fellow students gathered. They illuminated the night with candles, expressing their sorrow and remembrance, the flickering lights offering warmth against the cold winter air. As Samantha's devastated father delivered the eulogy, he broke down, uttering, "I will forever love, remember, and worry about you." Greg, Samantha's heartbroken boyfriend, added his own poignant farewell. "She was the love of my life. I dreamed countless times about marrying her and starting a family together, but now she has been taken from me forever." On May 11, 2019, just 2 months after Samantha's tragic murder, the University of South Carolina held its graduation ceremony, forever marked by the absence of a brilliant young life. In a moving graduation ceremony, every student gathered, including Samantha, represented in spirit. An empty chair, draped with her graduation gown, sat prominently in the front row. Posthumously, she was awarded her bachelor's degree, a powerful acknowledgement of her hard work and ambition. As the ceremony unfolded, the university president posed a poignant question to the graduating class. "What is our name?" In a moment of unity, the audience responded in unison. Samantha Josephson, a heartfelt tribute to a life cut tragically short. This tribute encapsulated the hard-working, optimistic, and joyful spirit that Samantha embodied. In the aftermath of their profound loss, her parents faced a painful realization. They understood that Samantha's death was not merely the result of Nathaniel Rowland's brutality, but also a glaring safety failure within the rideshare system. Had Samantha not mistakenly entered the wrong vehicle, this tragedy could have been averted. This realization sparked a mission within them. They decided to launch a public safety campaign and create the What's My Name Foundation, dedicated to preventing similar tragedies. The foundation's mission aimed to educate the public on rideshare safety, fund charitable organizations, and provide scholarships for graduating high school seniors. Samantha's parents also engaged with lawmakers, advocating for legislation that would enhance safety measures for rideshare passengers. Thanks to their relentless efforts, in June 2019, South Carolina enacted a new rideshare safety law in her honor, aptly named Sammy's Law. This legislation mandated that rideshare vehicles display clear identification markers on both the front and rear, ensuring greater accountability. Moreover, the law required that the driver's name, photo, and license plate be visible on both rear passenger windows, allowing for easy verification by passengers. The law imposed strict penalties for those impersonating rideshare drivers, with fines soaring to $500 and a maximum jail term of 30 days for individuals who exploit rideshare platforms to commit crimes. Even more severe consequences awaited offenders, with fines reaching $1,000 and potential prison sentences of up to 2 years. Yet it remained crucial for passengers to exercise caution when entering rideshare vehicles. It was highly recommended to ask the driver. In a poignant reflection, the foundation bearing the name What's My Name emerged, inspired by Samantha Josephson's cherished nickname, Sammy. This initiative highlights the crucial need for passengers to confirm their driver's identity, ensuring safety through a final verification step. Before entering any rideshare vehicle, the significance of verifying the driver's identity was underscored. Sammy's Law, born from this tragedy, gained recognition in New Jersey and saw further refinement in July 2020. Despite numerous hurdles, it was finally signed into federal law by President Biden in 2023. While the narrative of Samantha Josephson concludes here, the legacy of Sammy's Law endures as a poignant reminder of the critical importance of safety in today's rideshare landscape. The passage of laws signifies change, yet the pain of loss continues to resonate. This sorrow reverberates through the hearts of Samantha's parents, friends, and loved ones. A vibrant young woman, poised to realize her dreams, was taken from this world far too soon, leaving behind a profound void. This tragedy transcends personal grief. It serves as a wake-up call for the community, illuminating the hidden dangers we frequently overlook. Samantha Josephson's name will be etched in memory, not merely as that of a victim. She stands as a lasting lesson for all of us. This concludes today's exploration. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in the next installment. Goodbye.